Hi guys, welcome to the Hobby Barn. Today we're going to show you a new solution for webcasting, predominantly using Blueframe Technologies Production Truck, but also this time, instead of using the Studio Technologies announcer stations, we're using the new Henry Sports Pods. The solution that I have does not base itself upon an intercom like a previous design that I had, where the requirement forced me to jump into the Studio Technologies 233 announcer stations. This one still has Talkback. It has Talk to sideline reporters, wireless IFB, Talk to your cameraman. Does not allow them to talk back, but the overall cost is about half. So let's take a look at what I put together for you. First of all, we're using an 8-inch rack bed. Very shallow, slightly modified, bringing the rails out about a half an inch. And what I've installed in the front is a Blackmagic dual monitor, HD SDI. Predominantly, camera 1 is right now my only camera. Camera 2 is the output from the Blueframe Production Truck. So it's kind of a convenience monitor, but it also allows me as the director or producer to see and be confident in not only in my feed, but program. Down below, I'm using my favorite mixer, which is a Behringer Ultra Zone mixer. The value in this is that it has not only left and right audio here and there, but also has an auxiliary. And each channel can be selected to be left or right or AUX. And I use the AUX as the Talk to channel to cameramen, sideline reporters, and wireless. Well, now here's the back of the audio bag. First of all, it's hard to miss on top. Single rack unit, dual channel, dual handheld mic, wireless solution for 149 bucks. Hardwired into input 7 on the mixer, which is kind of nice. Sideline reporting. Predominantly what I do is through a 2-rack unit, I bring back my audio color-coded from Talent. This is from Color. This is from me as the producer. This is actually my field mic, but I've got another input that I can hook to the PA. And then here is what's interesting about these Henry pods is that they are Cat 5 daisy chainable. Notice how the Henrys have a Cat 5 cable that loops between each and every one. Now the value of that is pretty cool, because what Henry does is they allow you to return program audio, power, and talkback through the Cat 5 cable. So I don't have to run any of that through the mixer. It's all local. So talkback is just simply a button here, and press that and everybody else hears the talkback. Program volume control here, which is returned as left channel on that audio box, and talkback, which again is local. Basically, turn the mics on, and we're ready to rock and roll. These Henrys were about 475 bucks. Very small, very convenient, and I can't overemphasize the flexibility of having a Cat 5 cable looping in and out. Now, before we go too far, let me make a statement that I modified these internally so that the headphone amplifier, when the talkback button is pressed, feeds back to yourself. If not, you would not hear yourself talk. Others would, but you wouldn't. So that was a change. Getting back to the back of the bag. So here was our Cat 5 going to our pods. This is a USB 3 going over to my production truck. Internal to this bag, I've used a Blackmagic SDI Ultra Studio, which isn't made anymore. But the value on that is that I can return program to this box. And basically, I'll show you that program is being returned right now to this monitor, as well as this handy dandy little 11-inch monitor with an HD SDI converter to HDMI, powered by USB, so it doesn't need to plug in. The reason I went with such a small monitor was so I can pack it. 19-inch monitors are pretty large. So my talent in this situation, here's my hand to give you an idea of the size, has to learn to live with this particular output. So it's HDSDI out from the Blackmagic Ultra Studio through a BNC connector right here. In addition, I can take HDMI out. So if that monitor was located just a few feet away, I really don't need HDSDI because I get both hot at the same time. Also in the back of the bag, right audio out, left audio out, not necessary because internal to this, I've also installed and built in a Behringer RCA UCA 202. It's a device that takes a consumer line level signal, converts it to USB, and USB takes off over to Production Truck. So pretty much I've got everything wrapped up inside this bag, this 8-inch bag, which, and by the way, I got a headphone out, which is nice, so I can listen to program. There's my AUX outs. We'll go over those in just a second. So the real value of an 8-inch short bag is that if you're in any type of production environment in a studio, you really don't worry about space, but get into a press box or a long press row, and a 12 or 14-inch bag becomes problematic. I use the HMD 280s. These are outstanding, middle-of-the-road cost headsets. I've had the HMD 25s, HMD 26s, which literally cost twice as much. And I've got an announcer that's, and he actually introduced the Beatles in 1964. No kidding. But he's had the little ones and he didn't like it. I gave him these HMDs. I thought he'd complain. He loves them to death. So I standardized on the HMD 280s. Excellent headset. For the director, though, I had lying around some Heils. These are just about $125 headset. Pretty tinny. They don't have the fidelity, but using it as the producer. So let's go over how the audio path works. First of all, play-by-play comes in on one channel. Got it set to go both left and right on the selector switches, as well as to the AUX channel. It's mic level coming in, so there's no pad. Same for color. As color comes in, same thing. The crowd is a mic level signal. In fact, you got to have a crowd mic. I've seen a lot of guys try to shoot these things, especially in football, in a septic environment, and it just sounds septic. So hang one of these out the window, pot it up, and let's hear the crowd. Fourth channel would be the PA announcer. I use that for state championships. I take a feed from the PA. We get the announcements. The producer, which is me or the director, its audio input is only on AUX because he does not go to air, importantly. But he does go to the AUX channel, and to remind you, the AUX will be the path that we'll take to talk to our cameraman. Wireless mics are hardwired in. They're mixed internally. I opted to do that. So let's turn on this guy. There he is right there. And hello, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're down here on the sideline, and yik, yak, yik, yak, and there we go. And in fact, because my sideline reporter reports to air, he's on left, right, and AUX so that the cameraman can hear him. So let's dump this guy. The ultrazone has a little bit of EQ. I've messed with it a little bit, but predominantly used very little. And of course your masters, left, right, and AUX. Let me get on one of the announcer's headsets here. And this is kind of the level that I like to see. Maybe a tad of yellow, but never any red. And that should equate to, on Production Truck, sorry for the shake up there. Production Truck should have, where are we? There we are. Should pretty much peak at about 0, like that. Because I'm starved for a USB port, I use a little Belkin USB hub. It breaks out into 3 USB 3s. It also has a NIC adapter for Ethernet going into a single USB. In this particular case for camera, we're using a mini recorder by Ultra Studio. Several of you are using the Blackmagic 4 or 8 input mix any selection in one of those rack boxes, and that's fine. So from the producer's station, by turning the mic on, I'm able to only modulate AUX 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm hearing myself from some other units. Let's dump these guys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So my mic, when I turn it on, only goes to the aux channel. However, if I press Talkback, that goes to both of the other announcer stations as well as myself, but we're obviously not going to air. And at any time, the announcers can key out and talk to me. You know, this is one thing that a lot of small-time webcasters don't think about or wonder how it's done. How do you talk to talent on the air? How do they talk to you on the air? And this used to be done with an intercom. But the Henry Sports Pod was pretty flexible in that it gave me a talkback option that would be independent of the mixer and allow me to talk to two of my talents. Okay, sideline reporting. You know, they need to hear what's going on. I use a Comtech wireless intercom. It's kind of an IFB. With the kit, you get a receiver. Uses a standard 1/8" stereo. You get a transmitter that a whip hooks to. There's the whip down in there. Both run on 9-volt batteries. And they hook to, in my case, my aux out. So auxiliary, which is me as the producer, as well as a mix of left and right, head down to my sideline reporter. In addition, this could be used by a producer who stands behind the director, or even the cameraman if you can't get an XLR cable up to him. These are about $1,000, so the overall cost of this jumped quite a bit. However, it's an option. An easier solution for your cameraman is about a $40 headphone amplifier, battery powered. Simply take aux out. I did wire 2. Send that cable over a long XLR cable to your cameraman. Have him snap this guy on his belt. It'll receive an 1/8" stereo headphone, and he can adjust his own volume and hear aux. As I indicated in the beginning, he cannot talk back to you, so you better come up with plan B on that. We actually text if there's issues. I take a minute to show you the camera. This is the new Canon XA35. Set up for 720p, about a $100 Lilliput monitor. Uses HDMI into the camera. The camera itself has HD SDI out. We're on a Manfrotto tripod with a $79 Lank controller, which I've just recently bought. I'm not real familiar with how this thing's going to work, but seems to get her done. Guys, sorry for the iPhone video, but at least you get an idea now of what's possible. And of course, this was made to integrate with the Blueframe Technologies production truck, which is everything in a Mac. And we at the IHSAA have used this not only for state championships, but many other sub-state tournaments, regular season games, and it's catching on like fire because of the low cost, which essentially is, in fact, $0 for the software as long as you subscribe. So there you have it. If you have a question or a comment, you can contact me either at this channel or via Rick Vanderwielen at gmail.com. And Vanderwielen is I before E.